So, very briefly, what is the implication of the crisis? Basically, the oil prices, as far as India is concerned, which imports 70 to 80% of its oil and gas, means that the price increase has already taken place to some extent, to the extent that war has disrupted the logistics through the Gulf and also the production facilities. So, the short-term issue is the pass-through. So, what we call, so the price has taken place, India is already paying, that has already affected the income of the country, so to say, because that money goes away, so our income gets affected. And the issue now is just what we call the pass-through. So, what is pass-through? Really, there are three elements of pass-through, and that is the choice which government makes. One element is how much do the oil companies absorb that price increase. That means they do not pass through fully or partially. How much does the fiscal, how much does the government say, okay, we will absorb this part of it, either through excise reduction or other means. There are many different ways. And finally, what is passed through to the consumers. But consumer, we should remember, is not just the household, but it is also the industry. For example, as a result of the price and the logistics disruption, price of sulfur has already gone up, price of polypropylene, price of fertilizer, all those have already gone up internationally. The world prices are up. Okay, so the question of price through is there. So some of these, there is no, government is not involved, fertilizer it's involved. So question is the subsidy will automatically go up. That will affect the fiscal. So that's a broad context, and therefore the best, given all the uncertainties, I don't go into all those, but under the circumstances, given the different types of uncertainties, the best strategy for the government is to slowly pass through as more and more information comes. And you have already seen that some of the oil prices have gone up. The earlier WPI showed that some actually sulfur related things had gone up. So that is the process of gradual passing through. So that is the short term issue. Now in the medium long term, what to do, your question, right? So in the short term, I think a gradual rise of particularly oil and gas prices is necessary. So it gives the right signals to industry, because they have to adapt, they have to find alternative sources, they have to minimize the use, etc. In the longer term, I think the real issue is to incentivize alternative sources of energy. And as you all know, everybody knows that the solar is a big opportunity in India. Of course, government and the public has been doing a lot on that, but there is more to be done. You know, so partly because we have a market system, we have given incentives for PLI, EVs, etc. But what remains? So very briefly, we need to accelerate the policy and some of the things, and I'll mention a few only. So in my personal view as an economist, the most important thing is what we call time of day pricing. Why? Why is it so important for solar? Because the production of solar occurs in the middle of the day when there's a lot of sunlight, by definition, right? And much of the use we know historically or in most countries is focused in the evening. When sun goes down, the production goes down, but people start using it more, lights, ACs, whatever, industry. So what time of day pricing does is incentivizes adjustment, particularly by industry, that okay, if you're an industry and peak demand is very high, the price will be high, say between 6 and 9, so they produce at some other time. So that is one very important step. It's also related to the other things in solar we have to accelerate, like storage is very important. The reform of the distribution system, you need a different distribution system if you're going to use solar power. Again, to give you storage, of course, you understand, because much of the production occurs in the middle of the day. So you have to store it if you want to use it in the evening or in the morning. So storage is very important. So we need to accelerate that. People have talked about charging stations. There is also need for besides charging stations, you need, people have talked about induction cooking, okay, which is more efficient. But if it's only efficient if the distribution system can take it. There have been cases, I forget in which country, where they suddenly switched to induction thing. The demand was so much that the distribution collapsed. So it's related. That's the main point I'm making for your listeners, that these reform of the distribution system and some of these other things are closely related. So that is what we have to, in a way, now do it in a coordinated manner rather than just giving individual incentives and letting it happen, which is also good, but that needs to change. And finally, I'll mention one more example, reform of the distribution. Now again, I myself chaired a committee 15 years ago. We were trying to liberalize the electricity distribution system. Governments have set up committees, etc. Incentives have been given. But finally, there's a big ray of hope, which is Andhra Pradesh has just freed up all their distribution. So, for example, they are saying anybody who wants to set up a data center, they are free to generate their own electricity and distribute or not distribute. So, freeing up the distribution system can have great efficiency effects. So, these are some of the things I would suggest at this point.